What's good and welcome in to the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man DL from the ATL and my man Panero from the 716. Peace to the gods. What's good on this Sunday morning, man?
Peace. Good to see y'all boys, man. Happy Sunday and all that. We was just discussing pre-show about how I gotta get out here. This weather done broke in the ATL. It's supposed to be 78 degrees today. So I'm actually gonna do my last bit of spring cleaning in the house and then start on my summer long project, which is my grass today. After an interesting pod, I'm gonna be a pretty busy guy. So I'm excited.
I feel you on that. You know what you got to do though, because for the lawn work, you got to get you a young straw joint. You got to get you a straw joint, so when you get out there, you can keep the sun off.
Sun out your grill. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna show you my.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you my joint. I got a joint for you. Before the show
Give
was
it
over,
to me.
I'm gonna give it to you. Don't
Nah,
worry.
that sombrero ain't no sun joint that you
No,
get.
I got a Buffalo special.
That's not a garden hat.
Man.
You go out there with your Mexican sombrero, you'll fuck around and get deported and shit. You end of a certain age, bro.
Exactly. No sombreros. Like I got a joint
Look,
for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all before it's over with. Believe me, I got it.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Springtime, man.
Summertime day.
Is on the horizon. Panero, man, what's good with you up there in the 716, man?
Bit of a certain burnt up bracket around this bitch.
Say word.
Yo, man, fuck Clemson, man. You know what I mean? McNeese State, shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it in. You know what I'm saying? Small black college, respect. But y'all crushed my bracket with that shit, man. Ever since McNeese State beat Clemson up, my shit been downhill like a motherfucker.
What about St. John's in Arkansas yesterday?
Come on, man. St. John's scared to shoot, can't shoot, won't shoot. I know they're in New York, but they can't stop, won't stop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on. Shit.
No doubt.
Is trash. Son.
Yeah. It's a lot of people out there who's taking some body blows on the brackets, man. That's for sure, man. A lot of crazy stuff has gone down this week in the United States of America, man.
Definitely.
Not only the March Madness has been popping off, but Trump in the White House has been popping off. Him and his crony, however you want to say it, is Trump's crony. Is that how the pecking order goes, y'all?
That's what it looked like to me. You know what I'm saying?
Way it seems.
Purchased it, right?
These guys have really been busy at work doing a lot of fiendish shit type stuff, man. This guy, Elon Musk, is talking about sitting down with the Department of Defense and getting the plans of if we go to war with China. It's crazy. I say it every episode we sit down here and talk. It's like Bizarro. What's going on? It's like they just giving this man free reign to just step on and move how he wants to move. How in the world are you just going to give a civilian? He's pretty much a civilian, even though they made up this title for him, Doge, and his program. But he ain't no different than us, other than the billions of dollars he has. You know what I mean? What's going to stop him from having breakfast in China,
right
over there, and just spilling the beans so he can somehow, some way, finagle a deal for himself?
I mean,
go ahead, UH.
I was gonna say birds of a feather flock together. Trump is loose lips. He's constantly putting up state secrets and spy satellite photographs, and he's basically, and every security official in the United States would tell you that he's a security threat to the United States as a whole. Like I said, birds of a feather flock together. Elon's only concern is money, and as much as he can get, and as much control and power as he can assert on the world because of his money. So with China being the place where he has his largest manufacturing plant, it would be stupid to go ahead and give Elon the access to our offense and defensive plans against China. And like Fro said, the man hasn't been elected for anything. No one says, yeah, we want Elon. Not one voter said that. We want Elon. So why is he giving carte blanche to run rampant in our government, whether it's defense, whether it's Social Security, whether it's Department of Education? It just is, it's completely, totally insane. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it a setup, P? I mean, it's like it's a setup on how this administration is moving, man, right now.
Yeah, to me, from a streetwise look at things, it's like they're purposely weakening the country to set us up for attack. And it's like they have no respect for any constitutionality whatsoever. It's like the federal courts, it's not even Congress, the federal courts decide where money goes and things of that nature. But when it comes to Trump and Elon, and it's just they're going over the federal court's head, which they're not supposed to do, which is impeachable. So I guess recently the courts have blocked them from doing a lot of things. So now they're going after, where else can we get money to do what we want to do, to give tax breaks to the rich, to go after who they want to go after. So now they're coming after Medicare and shutting down education. It's just like you said, Fro, it's like, what is going on? This is a bizarro world. But I said in a couple of episodes before, man, this shit is like the fucking last episodes of the United States, man. This shit right here, this is some unrealistic shit, but it's happening in our face. What can we actually do about it?
It's like this. What you talking about, Lord, is checks and balances. That's how it's supposed to go.
They're not abiding by it.
We don't have a king. We don't have a dictator. Certain things have to be passed in order to move a certain way. And it just seems like this dude with a stroke of his pen circumventing a lot of stuff. You were talking about the judges and different things. They were just struck down in court about trying to get access to Social Security. Let's take a look. This whole Elon Musk and the Defense Department meeting.
Elon Musk met with Pentagon top brass today. The briefing was described as informal as the Trump administration denies reporting from the New York Times that Musk was originally there in part to learn top secret plans from the Joint Chiefs.
And now we're told Musk did not meet with the Joint Chiefs at all. ABC's Christian Cordero has the details from Washington.
Today, the Defense Department released these photos of Elon Musk seated at the head of a table in the Pentagon, Secretary Pete Hegseth directly across. The closely watched meeting comes hours after the New York Times cited two U.S. officials in reporting Musk was scheduled to be briefed on top secret U.S. military plans should it enter a war with China, a story the administration adamantly denies.
We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about DOGE, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake.
Before the meeting, Musk wrote on his social media site X, quote, "The New York Times is pure propaganda," adding, "I look forward to the prosecutions of those at the Pentagon who are leaking maliciously false information." China is a vital market for Musk's car company Tesla, which saw record sales there last year. Just last month, President Trump vowed the administration wouldn't let Musk get anywhere near potential conflicts of interest. He doubled down today, denying this visit was ever scheduled to include sharing the military's war plans.
I don't want to show that to anybody, but certainly you wouldn't show it to a businessman who is helping us so much.
U.S. officials tell ABC News Musk was slated to meet with the Joint Chiefs of Staff today, but that the plans changed sometime after the New York Times published its...
Look at this fool, man.
What is that?
And Trump over here. Look at the chick, though.
What is he doing? Is that like
He's balancing knives and forks and spoons
on his thumb?
That's how he developed the design for a Tesla. You're going to see a Tesla that look like them spoons and forks and shit. Balancing a fucking, what is he, 12?
This cat is high on drugs, yo.
Ketamine.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, y'all. They talking about taking this man into the Pentagon and giving him secret moves we would make if we were to go to the war with China. And then 2 hours later, he's standing somewhere sitting somewhere balancing forks and knives and spoon on his finger. And Trump over here lying to whoever he was lying to or scheming with. What the hell, man? That's all I can say.
Man, I'm telling you, it's the media, man. The media is the whole problem behind the situation, because if you elevate somebody and obviously we're in a capitalistic society, but if you elevate somebody to the point where they're deified, where they're worshipped because of their innovations or because of their technological advances, supposedly, to this country, and then you combine them with somebody who is obviously charming and charismatic to the majority of Americans, it can be a very bad combination because those two people are definitely in cahoots and they're not thinking about anybody but themselves. Elon Musk is not nothing about him impresses me. I don't, like I said, the cars are whatever, but I've never been one who's, oh yeah, Elon Musk is so smart and so on. This, no, he's a racist South African, and it'll never be anything more than that to me. The fact that we've given him free reign and our government is indeed disturbing, because like I said, not one person voted for this person, and it's diabolical that we can sit here and let someone destroy our government, destroy our way of life, literally cause harm to people both economically and emotionally, and be okay with it and think it's all right. It's not okay. It's not all right. Like you said, this shit is some bizarro world shit. This is weird, man.
I mean, they're gonna sit down and open up the Bible, the playbook. They're gonna give this man the playbook. Why? I don't know. Why would y'all even be talking to him about our strategic plans in war? What? Why?
Who is this guy? And how do we sit back as a country and allow someone from some other country that he's not even a citizen, like you said, he's a pedestrian, get into our information like this? Who is he? Now, what if the real big homie had brother minister with him? You know what I'm saying? Well, it would be outrage. What if Barack has some tech guy from India or something with him? The country would flip upside down. But we're dealing with white supremacy here. If it was a black man, if it was someone of any other color doing this with Trump, we wouldn't be doing it with Trump, obviously, because Trump is racist, but it'd be an uproar. Where's the uproar, man? It's just us. We're offended as American citizens that this guy is coming in and doing what he's doing. Where's everybody else, man? Especially those in government.
It's like my thought pattern is just why what you just said is spot on. White privilege is the reason why he was able to he's in the position that he is right now. Because like you said, ain't no way they're gonna have MBS pulling up and just going in to the Pentagon, period. You know what I'm saying? But his privilege as being a white man and then being the quote unquote the richest white man in America, in the world,
right?
That gives him carte blanche for real. So it's not even no checks or balances on him because of, first of all, he's a white man, and then second of all, he's the richest white man. It's like wide open, running 120 down the interstate. He gets carte blanche because of who he is and his pockets, like Don said earlier in that pod. What he's concerned about is his papers. And then into that, man, they had a rap at the Tesla dealer down here in Nashville yesterday, taking some mad hits because the stockholders is they thinking about pushing him on out of there. But even if they do push him out, man, they still fuck Tesla.
Right.
Fuck SpaceX, all that. Fuck Neuralink,
all that.
And like I was saying last week, he doesn't understand the fabric of America. They will turn their back on you no matter what you look like if they feel like you taking advantage of them. Like last week, Les, when you had the dude, I don't know dude name was with the Tesla who was driving the country cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they start turning on you, it's a wrap, man. We are this country is racist, no doubt about it. But when it comes to someone else from somewhere else taking advantage, man, they're not going for that shit, man.
And I'm glad you brought it to the Europeans, because this is going to be the next thing we're going to jump into. Let's jump into the people from Maine with Trump. Speaking of bad moves.
This has been a family business for 50 years. You got to take into the fact how the Canadians perceive this, and they are incredibly pissed off.
We met Sterling Morse in Old Orchard Beach, Maine. He owns the Point of View Inn, which is only about 150 miles from the Canadian border.
We have been here.
He says the majority of his regular customers are Canadians.
Very traditional people, the families that take the same room, the same dates every year.
Not this year. Sterling says most of his Canadian customers have canceled, fed up with President Donald Trump's antagonistic rhetoric toward Canada. There's the threat of tariffs, too, and lately Trump has suggested redrawing the border between the two countries.
It's affecting at least 90% of business.
Are you saying you've had 90% of your business canceled this year?
Easily.
What have you in?
During our visit, yet another Canadian called to cancel.
Listen, monsieur, you don't need to explain anymore.
This is every registration card from last year. This is the Canadian. That's my American. This just went away.
That's all you got now. That doesn't pay the bills.
Does not.
Best of my ability.
For Sterling Morse, it all snowballed shortly after Donald Trump's inauguration.
All of a sudden, an email pops up. It's almost your phone. Ding, slow ding. People that have been here for 35, 40 years. You recognize that number. I know why they're calling. And the anger is, in my eyes, incredibly justified.
Here in Old Orchard Beach, roughly 40% of the tourists come from Canada, according to the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber's executive director told us that those tourists make up about 30 to 40% of the revenue for many of the businesses here.
I think we're still seeing how many different industries this impacts. It doesn't just impact tourism, of course.
Over at the Alouette Beach Resort, owner Fred Kennedy hasn't seen a cancellation yet, but he's heard an earful from his Canadian customers. What are they telling you?
Their feelings are basically hurt. They don't like to be referred to as the 51st state, and they feel that they just want to express themselves in a nationalistic way. As an innkeeper, hotelier, I'm concerned with losing any guests. I'm cautiously optimistic that things will resolve themselves as time goes on.
Old Orchard Beach is a seasonal town, so businesses have about 12 to 15 weeks to make their money for the entire year. Back at the Point of View Inn, Sterling Morse doesn't see any way he can make up that lost revenue this season.
You got to start thinking of the end game of 50 years of tradition, to be honest, yeah.
Like you would consider closing down, selling?
There may be no choice.
Sterling Morse, the inn owner who says he lost 90% of his business, went to school in Montreal and feels a real kinship with Canadians. He told me that their anger is justified and he appreciates their renewed sense of nationalism. He also told me that he has tried to convince some of them to change their minds and to come anyway, but he says they are standing firm with Canada. Randy Kay, CNN, Portland, Maine.
Yeah, man. It's like what Randy Kay failed to ask.
Who did you vote for?
Who did you vote for, Mr.?
I was waiting for it, bro. I was waiting for it.
What's your thoughts on that?
They get, like I said last week, Bob Marley said, you get what you want. This is what you wanted. These people voted. I don't think Maine. I don't think
Maine is blue, but depending on what the individual voted for.
Yeah, and actually, there are parts of Maine I think that are split. Nebraska is too, if I'm not mistaken. For that to happen, it's just. I just don't understand how people don't understand basic economics, man. How people don't. It goes back to education, media, man. It's this whole shit show. Excuse my language. Is a culmination of a lot of little things that went wrong and a lot of things that we let slip by and a lot of cracks that were filled by water and now breaking the dam.
One story in one zone. I was thinking about when my sister lived up there in Cape Vincent. You know what I mean? Same type of area, same type of that. You know what I mean? The town, Niagara Falls. We know Canada because Canada is our neighbor. We can say
literally
that exactly because we grew up going to Canada. I was in Canada the night the Blue Jays won their first World Series.
So was I.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in TO, but I was in Niagara Falls, Canada.
I was in TO, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have a closeness, a fondness of Canada. You could be 18 years old and drink in Canada. So we would go across the border and watch and drink legally. You know what I'm saying?
Real strip clubs.
Yeah, exactly. The Bills Oilers game. I watched that in Canada because it was blacked out.
Couldn't get it, right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and my brothers went across on the Canadian side to catch the game.
You caught the comeback, huh?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Canada, old Canada.
Yeah.
People talking about we closer with Russia than we are with Canada, man.
That's crazy.
Canada they ain't going, man. They not going for it. They like, man, we gonna make y'all feel it. You know, they running campaigns about. And it's, yo, that's they man. That ain't our man. We don't ride with him.
But we in the car.
Yeah, we forced in there. We kidnapped. We hide.
Yeah.
We in the car seat. We can't get out the car seat. You know what I'm saying?
Child, they got the child locks on
the burner. They got the burner
to our dome. Yeah.
We kidnapped right now. P, you see the man? He ready to tap out, man.
Yeah. Thing is, with Canada, we're all from the town. Every day I go outside, I'm on the 90. I pass the Peace Bridge. Every day I can see Canada from where we are. Buffalo is pretty much, we're right here on the west.
South
on the
Canada.
West Coast, Canada. There.
It's like a suburb. It's like a suburb.
South
like
Canada.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we grew up with Canada. So we don't have problems with Canada. Canada, how are you? We love you here in Buffalo, New York. You know what I'm saying?
Not to cut you, Lord. You know how intertwined we is with Canada, man? Warren Moon, man. We knew about Warren Moon before
way before the NFL.
You know, because he was playing against the Argonauts.
Yeah.
In the CFL. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We love T.O. You know what I'm saying? We go up
Young Street.
Come on.
Queen Street.
Shout out to Buddy Rankins. You know what I'm saying? First said I'm out. You know?
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out Bud Ricks. But yo, this gentleman, I was waiting to see if she was going to ask who we voted for, because that would have made a lot of sense. That would have helped me say to him, this is what you get. But from my perspective, I don't want to see anyone that has a business fail. But because you're in a situation with the president who doesn't give a fuck about the individual, all he cares about is himself and his cronies. He doesn't care that you're not getting any business from Canada. He's going to say what he's going to say, because I think he has a mental issue. Something's really wrong with this guy that we're dealing with in the office. He doesn't realize, or maybe he does, and he don't care. His words have consequences. You calling someone the 51st state is an insult. These people are proud. They love their country. Where my wife goes to church, her minister is Canadian. He said his family, they are not buying any products from America. Now just think, if one person is doing that and other Canadians are going to do it, it's why are we fighting with our neighbor? Why? There's no reason to fight with Canada, man. It's just stupid. And we're dealing with stupidity, and this is going to be a long 4 years, man.
Yo, and think about the fact that if that business goes under, somebody can come in and swoop it up at what? A low price.
Of course.
And that's where, and I'm glad you went there, because that's where I was going. That's where I was. That, again, like I was saying earlier, the setup is like a setup. Now you got the Black Rocks, and these conglomerates like that can come in and scoop all that stuff up. You know what I mean? Are they the owners of it? And then you're going to have the people who are going to have to work for them. And then now they got them programmed in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, in my mind, it's a setup, because it's, why all of a sudden now y'all just going to turn y'all back on? Y'all can't see what's going on, and y'all don't see what's going on. What about AOC and Bernie out here on these bomb storming tours? Which I think
two sides of the same coin, man. I'm a firm believer that they have good intentions, but they're still part of the system, and the system is broken at this point. And it's not being used properly. There are no checks and balances, like you mentioned earlier. This guy is just running roughshod over the courts, over Congress, over America with executive orders, shipping Americans down to El Salvador.
Right.
Citizens. He's just shipping everybody.
Detaining Canadians for 12 days. The man is out of control.
Tommy Buns.
Smoking weed. Speeding. Running lights. I don't care. He's doing it all. You have to admire the political audacity of this guy, but you also have to be ashamed at the stupidity of Americans who are actually feeling the pain of what he told them he was going to do. You're stupid. Are you stupid or are you dumb? Because he told you he was going to do it. He's doing it. They said it was going to be pain when there was no need for pain. That's like you walk out your house. It's a nice day outside. It's 90 degrees. You know what? I'm going to go in the house. I'm going to go ahead and put on my winter coat. I'm just going to make myself uncomfortable. For no reason. Things were going great. But because the media continue portraying that narrative, oh, Joe Biden's old, or and eggs are $4 and gas is 50 cents more higher than it was Trump. People fell into the trap, and look what happened. Now it's about to get extremely ugly.
It is ugly. And like we said earlier in the earlier episode, P, is when these Europeans, like this guy up in Maine, when they start feeling the pain and different things of that nature, hitting different, and they like to go to the mattresses. They get crazy and start to blowing up stuff and shooting people. And I'm not calling for none of that, but I can see that on the horizon. My next thing is this, though, fellas, is why we ain't getting to this. Because that's never been in question. Nobody has questioned.
We've questioned it, though.
Yeah, it's like this. I know y'all ain't on social media a whole lot or at all, but my social media is like a lot of people doing a lot of crime. Those who have had buyer's remorse for their vote, and then those who was like, nah, B, we didn't even support this. How did this man win in a blowout like this?
The swing state.
Just like y'all was talking about Maine, and we were saying, who did he vote for? And there's so many people out here is like, but nobody is really looking at this slime ball over here, man. And now they got their cronies in all these positions. Department of Defense,
right,
FBI director, secretary. They got all their people in there like they said they was going to do in the project, right? But at the end of the day, we can't even prosecute this or look into this dude because they got their cronies in the position.
Right.
So it ain't no way they gonna investigate him because he the black hand right now. He's the unseen hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real facts. And when D has been the first one to adamantly stand by that, something's wrong. Something I just don't see it, and blah blah blah. For ever since November when it happened. And lately, he's been kind of saying, hey, we rigged the election, quote unquote, and that's why I won. And also, like I mentioned a few pods ago, I think on our first pod back, they purged a lot of voters from the voting rolls.
Yeah.
A lot of people voted, dog, but their votes were thrown out because of improper signature or the address didn't match the voting rolls. Things like that. People who actually voted. They threw a lot of votes out, man. And that's where I think that where people are like, wow, you know, what happened? That's what happened, bro. They purged the people, enough people in strategic areas who had voted off of the voting rolls and decertified their votes. And this is the situation that we're in. And I'm sure he was behind it. He has a technology to let you know to run a scrub and see if the address matches the signature or the signature matches the previous signature or the address matches the registered address. He has, and I do it for data now, you know what I mean? So I'm sure with his capabilities and all the technology that he has, I'm sure there was a way to finagle this so he could end up in the position that they're in right now.
It's no doubt about it, fam. It's no question about it. You know, him and Trump, when Trump was president the last time, were they? Did I miss that? Did I miss him being in the same position when Trump was in president the last time? Seems like he hated electric vehicles.
He was drill, baby, drill. And Fro, you had an actual incident in the voting booth.
I'm glad you brought that back. I went in the booth and I told y'all
Yeah.
when I went in there, it flip-flopped some stuff. So if people wasn't really necessarily paying attention to what was going on, they was doing it themselves.
Right. The part of the 92% of us that voted for VP Harris, and again, I'm not no conspiracy dude. It's just when he won those swing states, man, my antennas went up. Yo, something is wrong with this shit right here, man. And then Elon was on an interview saying, "I'll be better win because if he don't win, I'm gonna be in trouble." So he's straight up telling you, man, we rigged this shit. Now he's saying it, and what y'all gonna do? We did it. So what? So it's in your face now. Les said they got everybody in positions. They got all their cronies in the positions that if something does happen, they're gonna get off anyway. Shit is crazy, man.
It's like I said, fam. It's like a setup. It's like they setting us up for the great fall. And you look at people across the world, they looking at us, man, as we supposed to be the when you think of freedom or the land of the free, that's us. And right now, people is looking at us like, man, fuck out of here.
They
FOA.
like, yeah, we the United States of dun-dun-dun-duns around this motherfucker.
Now think about this. Let me put this one in the soup one time. Y'all know what's coming in 2028.
The Olympics, right?
Boom. Now, what if cats start saying,
we gonna boycott that shit.
We're boycotting the United States. Come on.
That's not a bad idea. I'm pretty sure something like that is going to happen. Unfortunately, 2028 is an election year. We won't know if we have elections, we won't know who the new president is until after the Olympics. So it's gonna be interesting. That's a good point, bro. That's a good point to see how they're gonna do that over the next 4 years.
If there's an election.
Yeah, especially with Los Angeles being a charred wasteland at this point.
Exactly. That part. Before we wrap on Trump and Elon, man, let's go into this once again with our neighbors to the north, Canada, and these tariffs, and what they planning, how they planning on banging Trump and Elon in the head.
For launching, and what states in particular?
So we will be having huge billboards along the key highways in Florida, in Nevada, in Georgia, in New Hampshire, Michigan, Ohio, 12 different states. And we know very much that these states are red states. But we're doing that because we think that we need to send a message to the American people for them to understand what's at stake, because this is really going to hurt their livelihoods and have an impact on their wallets. And my message to hardworking Americans is, please talk to your senators, talk to your House representatives, to your mayors, to your governors. Send a message that you don't want these tariffs, because nobody will win in this approach coming out from the White House. It is important that all together we work to prevent them.
So my question is, what the hell is the Democrats doing? Why the hell they ain't doing something similar to this? If not, why weren't they doing it already? Here it is, a whole nother country is going to be putting up billboards explaining to the goofies that live in these red states, such as what I'm in, Don's in, you know what I'm saying? To show them that, yeah, your president that you goofies elected is taxing y'all. What did we go to war for Britain for in the beginning? Because we was tired of the taxes, right?
Yeah.
Taxation without representation.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And again, I'm going to go back to, it's going to be we the people that is going to change it, man. It's going to have to.
The only way.
Because we are ones that are going to have the same, that are going to be going through the same type of thing, man. And you see that and you hear that, UH. What's your thoughts on that before we close up on this?
I think that it's a smart strategy. I think the problem with the Democratic Party is that their leadership is still locked into the generation before. They still got James Clyburn. Unfortunately, Bernie, even though he's not a Democrat, is an elder statesman as well. They need new, creative, fresh ideas, things that they need to let young people see the importance of what they're doing, the difference between them and Trump, because that's where the ideas and innovations come from. I'm sure it wasn't an 80-year-old man who suggested that they put billboards up in Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, and the like. It probably was a young person who understands the ebb and flow and how to affect people in these days and times. So the Democratic leadership needs to shake off the dust from their side of the coin, and they really need to at least put up a fight more than ideological at this point, because this is ridiculous.
That's my thing with Bernie is you're not independent. That's a label. 80%, 75% Democratic. You are a Democrat. Beat me in the head that you are independent. Don't beat me in the head, man. What's your thoughts on Canada putting up the billboards in the redneck states?
It's strategic. I respect it, because they're giving you the knowledge that they understand who put Trump in office. And they're letting those people know that you guys are going to feel it in your pockets. So the thing about the Democrats, when it comes to them seeing what Canada is doing to the red states, I think they're sitting back, okay, now y'all fuck around and find it out. Instead of just being like, you know what, it could possibly happen to us also. So we need to start saying things when it comes to the Democratic Party, instead of just rhetoric and talk and slick mouth shit. Get out on the grounds and start doing some shit. But like Don said, you're stuck in a previous generation. Start using this technology. Start using the things that we have out here to get yourself in the forefront, to get people's ears. Because you can turn a red state blue if you do it the right way. It was done in Georgia at one time. So they need to get up off their ass. I know they basking in the glory of fuck around and find out. It's going to happen to us eventually with this president in office. So you got to get on the grounds and start doing some shit.
So you know what? You better believe that billboard is going to bang people in Kentucky in their head because they can't sell their bourbon Canada. Whereas who knows what percentage of that bourbon is holding some distilleries down. People in Tennessee, Jack Daniels and them cats. Unfortunately, Uncle Nearest and the black-owned companies, they gonna pay the price too because Canada, we ain't buying nothing.
They said they ain't fucking with Heinz ketchup, fam.
They done, right? Especially if it's from a red state, let alone anywhere else, any other blue states. If it's a red state, you getting stomped out with both feet. But it's crazy, man. I wanted to have a drop for y'all, man, when Go say, what the fuck is going on? I can't go to sleep. Feds jumping out of Jeeps. I can't. Man.
Listen, man, my wife went to bingo in Canada. I said, I don't know why you did that shit for. You ain't coming home with no bread. They saw your license plates when you rolled up in that shit. So she was like, somebody won 7,000. I was like, yeah, I bet you they was Canadian too. Exactly. She was like, you right. I was like, yeah, you go up there, man, it's over. You know what I'm saying? They not fucking with us no more.
And for real, in a minute, it may not be safe.
Go up there.
For real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The way this dude, just imagine if Canada was talking greasy like that about the United States, we're gonna make them a province.
We bust their ass.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm saying it's just the thought of this, it's just the thought of this dude talking about
crazy.
Yeah. Have you heard the latest one?
Give it to me.
The Gulf of America, right?
Oh, you talking about AC?
The District of America. This guy wants to change the name of DC to the District of America. This
because he thinks it has something to do with Colombia. He's stupid, B. He thinks it has something to do with the country of Colombia. We're the district of not that Washington is named after George Washington and Colombia is from Columbus, but they say Colombia because he's supposedly discovered America. This man think it got something to do with goddamn Colombia. This is who is running the free world right now.
You hadn't heard that one, huh, man?
Yo, you can't go to DC no more. You got to go to DA.
District of America.
I might cry, dude. I might cry. Might cry.
That's what I say, man. It's bizarro, man. It's like we in the mad dream, right? And everything is just up is down, down is up, left is right is left. It's like, what in the hell are they doing, man? Are they purposely, like you said earlier, P? Are they purposely trying to just
They're weakening us on purpose, P? Yeah, they setting us up. It's a setup, man.
Who agrees with this? Who is like what common person who I'm in traffic with? And that's just what I think about when I'm in traffic, man. Because I told you I spend like at least 2 hours a day in traffic.
I hate it for you,
man. Literally every day, 2 hours guaranteed, and plus. So I'm always in traffic, and I be thinking like, who thinks that who amongst us in this mass of cars and this mass of people going to work, you know what I'm saying, really thought that this dude was a good idea. And it's wild because
they're eating the cats.
I'm just blown away by the stupidity of Americans. I am really blown away by that. That is it's still unbelievable to me at this point. It is unbelievable.
It's the ism, the schism. You know what it is. You know what it is. So This next thing we want to get into here on the soup, man. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment down low. Please. UH, man. We are in saturated, shark infested waters. Infested waters. We are in being in the podcast world. We are in shark infested waters. And I say that to say this, man. I don't know, again, if y'all saw this week, my TL is crazy. So I started seeing a lot of names that I had never heard of because obviously I am a man of a certain age and I move a certain way. I live in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So I started seeing names. Some names that I know. I'm sure you guys have heard of the name Big U. Maybe not. You familiar with that name, P?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you're not wrong for not knowing that name, but you familiar with that name.
Yeah, the whole set of, I'm a heavy YouTube dude, so I done ran across them boys.
This Big U is a mythical gangster from Cali. So that's why you really his name don't ring no bells for you like that. So let me just give you a little bit background on this guy. So they say Debo from Friday is basically loosely based on him, as well as Uncle Jerome from Snowfall.
Oh, okay.
Teach your boy how to squabble.
Right,
you know what I mean? Debo, basically, infamous gangster from Cali, Crip Cat, rolling 60 type. This is the set he claims. So I'm saying this to introduce you to this guy to say this, that these guys get on these podcasts and they start giving tales of grandeur and really start talking loose. And they going on platforms like guess who?
Vlad.
VLAD. They going on platforms like with VLAD. And
no jumper.
And a guy by the name of Adam 12. When you hear the name Adam 12, what does Adam 12 remind y'all of? What do you?
It's a cop show.
So they going again to these culture vultures who are pimping them for clicks and likes and monies and popularity. So these dudes go on these shows and different things and profess. Now this Big U cat put money behind Nipsey early.
Oh, okay.
He was, what do they call him? Not necessarily producer, but
investor.
Like a sponsor, yeah.
Exactly. So he had a contract with Nip for years. So just coming for the time to re-up on this contract. Yo, I know this has been a good run. I need you to come back. So they say, Nipsey Hussle, man, I'm off on my own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I don't really need you no more. So, quote unquote, this is how or why.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Nipsey met the fate that he had. So let's go to the tape real quick so we can introduce you to some of these guys and their story real quick.
Right now at 11, a big announcement from federal authorities about the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips gang in South LA. Detectives have arrested multiple people, and this morning they're still looking for others. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Let's get right to it. We have live team coverage of this breaking news. NBC4's Michelle Vyas is in Westwood with more on the arrest. But let's get started with Alex Rosier. He was at that press conference and joins us live from downtown LA. Alex.
Yeah, they talked a lot about a number of people in this press conference, but the main focus was on a man named Eugene Henley. The feds say he committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the murder of a rapper in 2021. But this same man, Eugene Henley, is known throughout the Los Angeles community. He's been involved with work, including youth charities, and the feds say he did it all to further his own criminal enterprise.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at-youth risk escape gang life. and escape the perils of gangs in high crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Eugene Henley, now considered a wanted fugitive. In the past, he's produced TV series. He has nearly 300,000 followers on Instagram, and he ran this charity. The feds say the charity received donations from celebrities, even government agencies, for what was described as charitable work. But the feds say he was still very involved in a much larger crime ring. And it wasn't just Henley that they're looking for. They've already made several arrests in connection with his alleged crimes. 4 people named in the criminal complaint are already in custody. The details of the alleged crimes were just released in dozens of pages of court documents that we are about to go through here. But the big headline right now is that Eugene Henley, a longtime self-proclaimed community activist, is now a fugitive. The FBI, among other agencies, looking for him and several other people involved. We'll have details much later today on the NBC4 News beginning at 3 o'clock. But for now, reporting live, I'm Alex Rosu, NBC4.
Alex, thank you very much for that update. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so let's go to NBC4's Michelle Via. She's live at the federal building in Westwood, where the defendants will be processed. Michelle.
That's right, Annabelle. Good morning. Right behind me, we have FBI agents and members of the Department of Justice here. This is where some of the members, the gang members from the Crips, were brought to be processed. We just saw likely one of them being driven away, who will likely be in court this afternoon. This is a big day. This is where they're processed. Many of them still need to be processed to face those federal charges. A big day, but big agents need the big get, a.k.a. Big U, Eugene Henley, now a fugitive. They think he's somewhere in Southern California, self-proclaimed philanthropist and ringleader of the rolling 60's Crip gang. Here's more on the arrest from Special Agent in charge.
4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. And while we're still seeking the whereabouts of 5 individuals, 3 of whom we believe we will have in custody shortly, 2 defendants are considered fugitives. They are Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia.
Big U, the Crip leader turned gang interventionist, ran mafia enterprises, according to the feds. Developing Options was his nonprofit charity that was touted as helping gang members get out of the gang life. As we look live here, again, this is the federal building. You see the tents, you see the agents. This is where some of those defendants, innocent until proven guilty, were brought here for processing. Some still need to be processed and make their way to court. Big U looking at extensive federal charges, including the murder of an aspiring rap musician, extortion, robbery, tax fraud, and human trafficking. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Brian Mejia or Big U, Eugene Henley Jr., is asked to call the FBI. In Westwood, Michelle Vias, NBC4 News.
But it's all the big picture, though. It's all the big picture. Now I'm going to be sitting in here. It's going to be years on my life. Then you going to get dudes who I won't even talk to. What they going to say? You ruining people's lives. I heard there's over 21 people that's been arrested. This shit wrong. It is what it is. Church, just pray for me.
Pray for you.
Pray for me. Pray for my family. Look at what we did. Look at what I did. I've been home 21 years. It ain't over though.
So before we continue on, so Big U said he wasn't doing nothing. He was laying low. You know what I mean? Helping the kids, keeping people out of trouble. Tithing, going to church, tithing, hitting the mosque on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Eating fish. And what the Hawks are saying my prayers, eating my
kissing babies.
Yeah. Let me introduce y'all to what Big U was on.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, young man.
Top flight, baby. Yeah.
GB running this shit in the hood, my head. Exactly with GB getting these movies done. You better know it. Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just can check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. If you don't check it in, check your ass out. We're going to check you in, all right? We're going to check in all of your equipment. We're going to check in all of your equipment.
Yeah, he don't know nothing about no extortion.
Man, listen, that dude's a fool. It's one thing that we admire people in our culture from a criminal background. I understand the sensationalized, you got different, and it's history. I watch it because it's history. I'm trying to find out who is what and what led to this and what led to that. And he's obviously an integral part of Los Angeles Rolling 60s history. He's literally an OG. To see him and to hear his story and the things that he went through, and he was basically around in the 80s and 90s, heavily active in that lifestyle, and to see that he did his time and came home. And I first saw him on Vlad maybe in 2016, 2017. And I watched this whole Los Angeles thing, so I got an understanding of how the whole gang culture worked. But it's been interesting to see him constantly reappearing and becoming more seen out there. A Whack 100, that type of person. I think him and them was rolling in the same circles. Whack's a blood, but he's a Crip. So it's two things about this for me. First of all, we all know that gang shit is about nothing. This should show you that, again, example number 9,726,058, that gang life isn't going to do anything but lead you dead and or in jail. Right. Nipsey Hussle, Big U, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing about it is that it shows us that we do not need to elevate criminals or potential criminals or people in criminal organizations to positions of leadership and or influence in our community, because you can see how and what the inevitability of it is. They're going to be convicted of something, or they're going to meet a tragic end. So why do we continue to put people who are not really worthy of our attention or our admirations, not mine personally, but as a culture, why do we continue to give people who are not worthy of our admiration, who aren't inspirational, our attention and our time and our energy? Because invariably from gangs, like I said, it's only two things: death or jail. I don't know any old gang members, not one.
That would be a fact. You know what I mean? P Double, man. This is Eugene. I don't know. I don't remember what they said his last name, but Henley.
His son is a linebacker for the Chargers. And hold on real quick. You know what they said? He murdered a rapper. The rapper that he shot in the face was his rapper, his son's best friend.
Okay.
And they shot him in the face in the car and dragged him out into the desert.
And dropped him out there in Vegas, right on the way to Vegas or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just a real quick side note.
So before we come to you, Panero, let this clip. Jets.
That's when he went down there. Nipsey did the diss song. A lot of people don't know Nipsey got a Big U diss song. They don't know it. You don't have a clue. Something like that. He mentioned his name and everything. That's when he went out there and knocked him out. That's when Sam.
No, he didn't knock. No,
he said he knocked him out. He said he knocked him out.
No.
Sam came out busting the air. I got the call to come bail him out. Come to find out that was a play.
Yeah. So basically, let's get this straight. Nip had an altercation with him in the studio or whatever. Big U was like, "Is this song about me?" He was like, "Yeah, it's about you, cuz." So Big U threw the water bottle at him. So he was like, "We're gonna have to go down stairs and get down." So they're in the middle of the street. And Nip kept just bouncing around. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to get hit or whatever, trying to fire on him. So he was like, "All right, cuz I'm going to have like my little homies come because nigga, I don't have to win for this." So the next day, TD and them came and he was just doing some bullshit or whatever like that. So they try to come, Big U tell Nip, "Get in the car, you going to go on Bryanhurst and you going to get down, right?" Black Sam like, "You ain't taking my brother nowhere." You get what I'm saying? And he tried to pull him out the car. When he tried to pull him out the car or whatever like that, Nip looked over and he was like, "Listen, as long as you don't, me, we good." So he was like, "No." So Fats, my homie Fats.
You talking about another situation?
I'm talking about the same situation.
The situation is happening when Black Sam busting the air.
No, he did bust in the air, but Big U tried to fire on Fats.
Fats put him on his pockets.
And then Fats put him on his pockets.
I got a call on that one.
He put him on his pockets, right? Fats is like 5'4", but stocky. You get what I'm saying? So he put them on his pockets. They try to rush Nip. You get what I'm saying? Like Paul's and all of them, right? And so Black Sam busts in the air. When he busts in the air, Big Useless had the police already watching. They come there 30 seconds, right? That's how
we don't even know till Black Sam and the other dude from 40's tell us when we started exposing. They said, bro, why that night when that thing happened, when the police came, Big U flashed something and started directing the police. And we're like, what you mean? This is before we learned about the community leader and the creep. Like, we dumb to the fact. He didn't see what he didn't see. And I'm like, so when we start reading in depth and we brought that dude Star, I said, bro, he's like, wait, once dude flashed the bag and I'm finna take y'all somewhere. At that point in time, he's a peace officer. Okay, SKG. Remember the chick? We exposed it. The chick threw the water on him. He had to stand. He ain't knowing they recording. And he said, call the police. And the chick went to the room, right? And the police came and knocked on the door. She said, I'm in with me and my kid. He said, yeah, but who's arresting me? The hotel. The hotel said, ma'am, we're not arresting you. The gentleman downstairs is making a citizen, no, it wasn't even a citizen arrest.
A private arrest.
A private arrest. They cuffed SKG. We put it up. Took her to jail because Big U made a private arrest as the community leader.
And then tell her the next day, if you want these charges to drop off, come to the hood and catch.
Put it up. This is what I'm talking about.
So first of all, these cats is supposed to be gangster. The one dude, the bald head dude, big dude, this is this cat, Black 100. I don't know if you've ever heard his name. Again, he's from the left coast type guy. It's like, when the gangsters start talking like this and then talking on camera and on microphones?
Yeah, this is a lot of this. Again, I appreciate it, gentlemen. A lot of this is new to me. I've learned one thing from my timeline is certain hats that you wear, like the New York Yankees hat we got on now. I saw a gentleman in the skit you just showed or whatever, the clip. That's considered North Side, Long Beach Crips. Like all of these hats and stuff that they wear, it represents a certain area, which is crazy. Because how would you know that if you just visiting and you thinking you just wearing a Yankee hat, but you don't know what might happen to you with a Yankee hat on if you're in the wrong area, which is crazy. But when it comes to you, the Jerome type character, what it seems to me is like he's done so much dirt in his life, but then he's trying to change his life somewhat, but it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've been having issues lately myself with my blood pressure. I got to monitor my blood pressure. So I usually call my cousin Chauncey because we're the same person. Yo, how is your pressure, fam? He's, yo, I'm fucked up a little bit. I got to take some meds. And because I got to take some meds because all of the shit that I was doing before I got this age has caught up to me. He said, even though I stopped the bullshit, I stopped it, but now it's still late. I can manage it. I don't eat pork. I don't eat meat. So it's not bad. But the people who didn't stop the bullshit, they're not here anymore. It's too late. It's too late for this dude, Big U. It's over. All that shit that you did, it looks like to me from what you guys have shown me, it's over for you, bro. It's too late. And all that on these shows talking. And like you said, Fro, what's going on with real gangsters moving silence? What happened to that shit? You motherfuckers on podcasts saying what they did, just that and the third? Shit, this is a fucking bizarro world we're living in.
Attention is more addictive than crack. You know what I'm saying?
Clicks and likes, huh, fam?
Yeah, clicks and likes. Everybody wants you to like me. I'm a 54-year-old dude from Atlanta, originally from Buffalo, and I know who Big U is. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they want. That's what people want. People want that attention, and they're willing to do anything and everything to continue to have your attention. And in situations like this, it don't work out. Like you said, it's an accumulation of things, man. It's eventually gonna catch up to you, bro.
Yeah. All I can say is, man, these dudes can take a lesson the dudes that's under them or behind them.
Better pay attention.
These guys got the hood names down. Let me give you two of the names of the guys that is caught up in this. Let me get back to that real quick before we. So, Brick Baby and
Loose Cannon.
Loose Cannon. The Loose Cannon dude was the dude with the Raptors.
With the jersey, the jersey on. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then this Brick Baby kid, again, we can go so far into it. They got the Brick Baby dude, no, not the Brick Baby, but the Loose Cannon dude on with Adam. I call his ass Adam 12 because he a fucking cop. Whether they know
police.
Yeah, man. Calling Kodak along with V-Lad. But as I gonna say, man, he's on there telling 12 that Big U called him after Nipsey got killed. But he called him before it actually happened. So that's what they were saying, that he knew he had something to do with Nipsey getting hit too. Well, that's what I'm saying. But these dudes is on podcasts like they in confession, just giving these stories, and then now you shocked that the feds is jumping out of Jeeps looking for you, and now you doing again. You still on camera. You still like this, talking about. I don't know nothing about what they talking about. Whereas we can go 6 months earlier and you on camera talk about they better check in. What are we doing?
Incredible, man. And that gang culture is something that is a detriment to our existence at this point. I understand the origins of gang culture, which were late 60s, early 70s, to protect the Black community. I dig it. I completely am with it. You know what I mean? But they have outlived and metamorphed into something that is more of a danger to us than it is an asset. It's truly a danger at this point. Because the RICO, man.
You see all them dudes on that picture there? They had one female over on the right. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap for y'all boys, man. And was it worth it for the little bit of change that you was getting? And then you, like you were saying, how I got on to the Big U Cat. It was on that FX special when they had Barb and they had Bimmy, they had Haitian Jack on there. And they was all talking about, of course, Gangster Tales. But that's when, and Trick the Cat from Detroit, all of them did some type of like story, and it was running on FX, and that's how you
got hip to him.
I got hip to the Big U Cat, and this was a couple years ago or so. But like I said, I tell y'all, my timeline got everything from game banging to Elon Musk.
I love it. Got a little range of it. Your range is amazing.
You got to be versatile, man. You know what I mean? You got to be able to dip many faces. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, man, I want to go back to one other topic, man, and it's circling back to politics, man. Because you look at what Trump is doing, man. They hijacked DEI. They hijacked that and basically put our face on it. So anything that we have touched, they trying to strike it out the books, or they trying to cover it up. So it's no longer there. We already said about this fool gangster in the Gulf of Mexico and wanting to call it the Gulf of Americas and DC District of America. But man, this week, man, my timeline was buzzing about Jackie Robinson. And I'm like, what's going on? And then they was like, and then as I clicked on the link and things, and I saw that they were trying to say anything with DI that they claim DEI, they wiping it out of the books. So they struck Jackie from the Department of Defense, his records and all of that. They struck it down and took it out. Let's go into that real quick before we wrap tonight, man. This afternoon, I should say. P, what we need the folks to do?
Share, subscribe, hit that notification button. Get the soup when it's nice and hot.
4 o'clock on Wednesdays.
That's the
I got it.
Therapists that don't click. I was too. Until I found Rula. Rula changed.
I don't want to. I don't just.
This actor. The Academy Award goes to.
Not you, but reports, and I hope these reports are inaccurate, that Jackie Robinson's profile has been removed from DOD websites. Please tell me that this is not true.
Sadly, it is, Joe. A page dedicated to Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson's military history has been removed from the Department of Defense's website. A previously existing article about Robinson's time in the Army during World War II now shows one of those page not found errors. And the new webpage URL includes DEI before the story's headline, indicating it might have been taken down as part of the Trump administration's efforts to eliminate federal DEI programs. I'll say I saw this. Jeff Passan, ESPN writer, tweeted it this morning. He said, quote, I'll write, good job, Jeff. He writes, the ghouls who did this should be ashamed. And Congressman, this is not the only one. We've been talking in recent days on a page dedicated to the Enola Gay. The flight that dropped the atomic bomb in Japan was taken down, likely because the word gay appeared in it. Other American heroes, Medgar Evers, page dedicated to him, civil rights hero, taken down. Jackie Robinson is the epitome of American hero and a veteran, and yet erased from the Department of Defense's website.
Yeah, that's right. And the code talkers, too. Let's not forget about the Navajo code talkers who literally helped us win World War II by communicating and keeping our secrets in a way that the Japanese could not break our codes. And incredible stories of heroism trying to be wiped away, because that's what this administration does. That's what Donald Trump does. If it doesn't fit his narrative, if it doesn't give him credit for it, then it doesn't matter, and it should be wiped from history. So part of our challenge here is not allowing that to happen, to keep history alive, to continue to tell the truth over and over again and call it out just like we're doing right now.
Yeah, Mike, when you look at this, we talked about Ira Hayes yesterday, who was at Iwo Jima pushing up a flag, his story being removed. This is just wholesale, anything that, according to the Trump administration, reeks of DEI, which basically means effectively, if you're not a white guy who did something in history, we're going to remove that from the page. But Jackie Robinson, my God, an icon.
There's Jackie Robinson. That's only one of many. There is an African-American recipient of the Medal of Honor who has been removed from the records from the Pentagon. Recipients of the Medal of Honor. That's not DEI. That's courage under fire. That's what it is.
Can I talk about the DEI thing, right? Because, listen, I understand there are circumstances where maybe it goes a little too far and it can be onerous and it can be very challenging. But what this really is, when we talk about DEI, is these are intentional efforts to actually build a team. When I was a paratrooper, I was in charge of a platoon of 50 paratroopers that I took to Iraq. And those paratroopers came from everywhere around the country. Urban, rural, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, white, black, Hispanic, rich, poor. And you just can't throw a group of people like that together and it just automatically becomes a team and it operates, right? You have to be intentional. You have to understand each other's differences. You have to bring them together. You have to get folks talking. That's what these efforts are really about, right? How do we build a team so it's better than the sum of its parts? That is what I did as a paratrooper, and that's what a lot of these DEI efforts are focused on doing. So throwing the baby out with the bathwater will make us less safe, and it's bad for our national security.
It's evident, man. Like I said, and Willie Guy said, shout out to Willie for really saying what it is. If you're not a white man, a European, we don't want to basically
acknowledge you.
Right, acknowledge that you even walked the planet of the earth. I saw Malik Yoba yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw his clip with Cairo. He said that he wasn't going to be defined as a black man or a African American. He said that he wants to go by now a non-white. What's your thoughts on that, Lord?
That's wild. Maybe Robert Griffin III feel the same way. I don't know.
I'm glad you brought up his ass.
Yo, it's crazy, man. And the thing is, when you look up the statistics of DEI, who benefits the most from it, it's white women. So it's not, and black males, we're at the bottom of any benefits from DEI. So it's just a dog whistle for white supremacy.
Exactly.
Man. They just throw anything out there to make other white people look down on black people by saying it's DEI. Because what's the complete opposite of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Uniformity? Everybody the same? You know what I'm saying? if you look at the United States and you look at the major cities in the United States, they have a lot of different type of people. They're diverse, and those are the areas that make the
a melting pot.
Money.
A melting pot. You know
so
what I'm saying?
Why wouldn't you want diversity, equity, and inclusion if you know it's going to bring more profit? Why? Because white people like white supremacy over positivity, I guess. I'd rather be white and poor than diverse and rich. It's just stupid as fuck.
The evils. The evils. Yeah. When you see that story, definitely not just an African American hero, an American hero.
Man.
Not only did he break the color line, he was in
the country.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. There's something called the Southern Strategy. I think I mentioned it before.
Oh yeah.
And essentially, what the Southern Strategy is, quote unquote, it basically promotes the view that as long as you can convince a white man that he's better than the lowliest white man, that he's better than the richest black man, that you'll continue to keep the vote and you'll continue to get what you want.
Pick a spot.
So it's based upon ignorance. And we see its fruition where they have, and being black, we've always known this, but they've always pitted us against each other. When DEI came, when DEI, affirmative action, things like that came along and we were able to compete on an equal field, they saw that, like sports, like everything else, that we joined them in activity, that we're probably going to be better. You know what I mean? Because we dominate. Because we had to work so much harder to get to those positions. And I'm no white woman, but white women get dissed too. You know what I'm saying? Lumped us all together, and now you've got a bunch of people who are underqualified, undereducated, zombies of media and ignorance. Yeah, and ignorance, basically saying that, hey, this is all wrong, and not understanding exactly what they're doing. You spoke about something very important, D. You spoke about rurals and you spoke about the urban areas. Then the blue states power the red states. You are aware of that the blue states make all the money so that the red states' budgets can be supported. So that's number one. And number two, and quite possibly the most important thing about this, is that no matter what you do, no matter how you try to shape it, you can call it CRT, you can call it being woke, you can call it DEI. You're basically just saying, we don't want you niggas.
Pretty much.
And that's the fact, Jack.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And once again, what the fuck is going on? I can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Again, man, it's been another Sunday morning building with my A likes. P. Matter of fact, let me go how I usually go. You got anything for the folks before just take this hot soup off the stove?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick about another hip hop topic. Young Beezy, Yellow Beezy, Yellow Beezy. I think it's Yellow Beezy. That rapper out of Dallas had a hit back in 2019. Get a little buzz. Met one of my old chicks in Vegas. I was a hater from there. But
oh, he contradicted himself. I'm gonna have to go to the tape.
I'm saying I've never been a hater.
Yes.
I've never been a hater. I wasn't a hater. I wasn't a fan. Put it that way.
He's human, P. He's human.
He got a chink in his armor.
From that point on, I was never a fan of Yellow Beezy. He took the picture and she was all excited. Then a couple of weeks ago, I seen her backstage at a concert in Dallas. Anyway, he's a Dallas rapper who actually got arrested this week for a call for mutilation. Remuneration, which is basically hiring somebody to kill someone else. So he had beef with this other cat. He hired some boys to run up on him. They caught him on the highway, jumped out the car. Dude was hopped out his car, trying to get his gun. Couldn't get to his gun. He was running on the highway. They bucked him down on the I-35, right?
Wow.
So this happened like 4 years ago. Come to find out the dude that killed him was actually hired by this rapper, Yellow Beezy. I speak upon this just to say one thing. There has to be a limit. There has to be a point where we realize that every time we do something to each other, it's hurting more than us. You know what I mean? Like in that situation, now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in jail, 1 person dead, 3 people in jail for what? Over a rap beef, You know what I mean? We have to, and that's just rap stuff. Just imagine the serious things that happen out here that we have to make serious decisions on. So always remember that revenge isn't the best motive and the best way to spend your energy. The best way to spend your energy is to move you and your people past it. And sometimes it may hurt. It may hurt. And I'm a Sagittarius. I'll tell you, I'm one of the most vindictive people you will ever meet. I really had to work my way out of it. But unless you learn to control your emotions, and we all know emotions are the enemy of success, you end up like that. Remuneration, which is murder for hire. A young man who had millions of dollars, who, well, at one time or another, who just couldn't let it go. The lesson in life is to let it go, because believe me, it's not that serious. Life goes on.
Capital murder.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's a sad
$2 million
scene.
bond. $2 million bond.
It's a sad scene that these guys get caught up. I see Jim Jones, and he was on Breakfast Club about a month ago. Saw some clips of come across my TL. He glorifying bringing gang banging
to New York.
Wow.
You know, the ignorance. Narrow, what you got good for the folks before we take this soup off?
And men of a certain age, we're going to end this on a positive note, man. Jeez. I know we strive to be successful. That's what we do as a people. But it's more important to strive to be a person of value. That way you're needed and we can take care of each other. That's for men of a certain age, man. End that on a positive note. A little sprinkle on the soup, B.
That's what it is. As always, y'all, it's the same old soup. We just reheating it. Until next Sunday, peace.
Peace to my guys.